Hi everyone, and welcome to today's session all about equipment. Thank you for joining us. We are so excited to have you with us. Please do say hello in the chat. Let us know where you're from and that you can hear and see us okay. I'm joined today by the lovely Natalie. I'm going to pop across to her in a moment so she can introduce herself. My name is Sarah. I am a student advisor here at Formula Botanica. Been with the company for 5 years. And I'm a student and a graduate, and I actually started my journey with Formula Botanica with a masterclass, just like this one. So it's amazing to be here and share all of this with you. Natalie, would you like to give a little bit of an introduction and let everyone know who you are and what you do with Formula Botanica?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Natalie, and I am the cosmetic scientist here at Formula Botanica. So I work on formulations, on blog posts, or any content that's got to do with anything to do with formulations or cosmetic science. I have been with Formula Botanica for April, May, June, July, August, September. So for 5 months, 5 months. So very short journey, but it's really exciting, and I love Formula Botanica. I love what we do over here. Prior to that, I worked for some of the biggest companies formulating, and yeah, so now I'm here to support you guys as students.
Thank you very much, Natalie. It's lovely to have you. I can see loads of people joining us from all over the world today. It's absolutely amazing how global we are. We have the first one, Las Vegas. Hello, Idris. Idris is one of our students, and she's joining us for the masterclass. Absolutely amazing. We have the Bahamas, Canada, Algeria, US, lots in the US. We've got Buffalo, Illinois, Missouri, all sorts of different places. We also have Tottenham, that's in the UK. That's not too far from me. I'm just outside of London. We have South Africa, Ontario, and another from East London as well. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today. So this live, as I mentioned, it's all about equipment that you are going to need for the masterclass, which starts on the 2nd of October. So less than 2 weeks from now, we will be launching the first 3 episodes. If you haven't already, please do ensure that you have signed up for your masterclass ticket. The link is in the chat if you haven't already done so. And once you've signed up, you'll get your free ticket and you will then be able to access your study area. In your study area, you will have all of the stuff that you will need. You'll have your masterclass workbook, you'll have your ingredient suppliers and your supplier guide list of suppliers as well. So for those of you that have already accessed your workbook, please do let us know in the chat if you've got it, if you've printed it. It is a beautiful little workbook. You don't have to print it in color. If you don't want to, you can just print it in black and white. But this is going to be your Bible throughout the masterclass. Everything that we do, every episode, it's all in here. And we want you to fill it in as you go. So today, we're not on the workbook, we are on the masterclass equipment list. And we're going to start talking through each of the equipment each item of equipment you will need. Natalie's going to do a little bit of a show and tell as we go through them. Everything is in the masterclass as we go. So we talk you through everything step by step. So don't worry if you miss anything from this live. If you have got a pen and paper, please write it down as we go. So everything, we're going to talk about what they are, why we've chosen them, so that you can understand exactly why we've chosen these particular ones over other things. We're going to talk about suppliers in a little detail as well. You can find your supplier list in your study area as well, but we're going to talk a little bit about them here, and we're going to talk a little bit about them, well, a lot about them actually, in the masterclass as well. So let's get started. The first piece of equipment we are going to discuss is something that every formulator needs. It's something you will have a lot of, and something that you'll often need to replace as you go, as you break them. And these are glass beakers. Everyone breaks a beaker. Don't worry about it. It's fine. But we're going to start today with glass beakers. They make formulation so easy. So, Natalie, why have we chosen glass beakers?
So you want to go for glass beakers because glass is inert. So it's not going to react with anything that you put in here. You can formulate creams, lotions, whatever you want to formulate with, and they're reusable. So even if you formulated something that's really smelly, you can wash it out and the smell will go away. And also, you can buy lots of them. They're not that expensive. Like Sarah said, you can replace them. You can also get like different sizes. So this one is 250 mils. You can also get like larger ones that are like 500 mils. You can also get like some tiny ones. I don't have a tiny one, but you can get tiny ones for like essential oils that are like 25 mils.
I have tiny little 10 ml ones. They're literally about this big. Yeah, so cute. But
They're
I am
big.
in the middle of moving house, so I don't have everything to hand, unfortunately. But yes, you can buy them in all sorts of sizes. We recommend you try and get borosilicate glass if you can, because they're very good, or Pyrex, because that's very good at temperature changes, and you'll be going from you'll be heating your ingredients through the Masterclass. But for now, any glass beaker will do. But if you can get Pyrex or borosilicate, that is good.
Yeah.
The next equipment on our list is scales.
Yep.
So, how important are the scales, Natalie?
So you need your scales for everything. Otherwise, we're just guessing out here. We're just doing anything and everything. I have got my scales here. So these are like little jewelry scales, and they go up to 200 grams. So this is a perfect size. You can get bigger ones, but for batches that are up to 200 grams, that's absolutely fine. They're very precise. Again, they're very cheap. They're portable and they're battery powered. So it's the easiest thing that you can use. You don't want to be guessing the amounts of ingredients that you're putting in your formulations. Otherwise, you're never going to know what you're making.
Absolutely. And the definition of a jewelry scale is that it goes down to 2 decimal places, which is what you're going to need, because for the masterclass, we're going to be measuring some ingredients in very small quantities, things like your preservative and, as Natalie says, your essential oils. So yes, so they are jewelry scales. Just having a quick look in the comments here, we've got lots of people saying hello and lots of people saying they have printed the workbook. For those of you that haven't yet located the workbook, it's in your study area. If you find the email with your ticket in it, there is a link to the study area. Click on that and you'll find the workbook in one of the, near the top. It will say print your workbook in a big, I think it's a red button on the study area. So once you've done the live, find that email and pop over there. But don't leave us to do it. Stick with us. We've got a lot of equipment to go through. So the next one is pH strips. So I'm going to give a little show and tell on this one. So these are pH strips. They are different to litmus paper. Litmus paper is plain orange or yellow and it changes color. We don't want those ones. They're not as accurate as pH strips. And what you can see here is that you dip this strip into the formulation and then you can tell what pH it is based on the colors that it changes to on the bars. Why do we check pH, Natalie?
So this is mainly to do with, first of all, your skin. You want to make sure that your formulations are going to be good for your skin. You don't want to put anything that's too acidic on there, and you don't want to put something that's too alkaline. If it's acids, then there's a way that you have to put them on your skin. Secondly, your ingredients. Ingredients are very sensitive to pH, so you want to make sure that the pH of your formulation complements the ingredients, and then that means your formulation is going to be stable, and also the availability of your actives on the skin is also affected by pH.
Thank you, Natalie. So the pH strips are not expensive. You can buy them in Amazon. Lots of suppliers will sell them, but just make sure they are suitable for cosmetic formulation, because some of them are for other things.
Yeah.
The next ingredient we're going to go for is pipettes. Now, neither of us have our pipettes to hand, unfortunately. Mine are in a box somewhere, but there are 2 types. We have plastic ones that are single use, and they can come in anything from sort of 2 mil up to sort of 10 to 15 mil quantities. And then you can get glass ones, which is what I use. And they, again, can come in multiple different values. The benefit of a glass one is that you can wash it, you can reuse it. So it's more sustainable, it's better for the environment. And obviously it means that you don't have to keep replacing them as well. So Natalie, why do we use pipettes when we formulate?
So this is mainly to do with small quantities, for example, like fragrances or actives, or if you only want a little bit of oil in there. Pipettes are really useful because you can literally suck out, it's literally sucking out the amount that you want and then drop it onto your beaker, and then the rest that's in the pipette, you can put it back in the pot. So it's really about precision, making sure that you're measuring correctly. Otherwise, if you're pouring, let's say 0.5 grams, it's difficult to control.
Absolutely. And there have been many a time where I've attempted to do that because I've run out of pipettes and it hasn't quite gone to plan. Hence why I got the glass ones. So I was never without one. Our lovely colleague Eliziani is in the comments, and she has shared a link to the Amazon storefront for anyone who's in the UK or the US. So please do save that link so you can visit it once the live is done. And if you do have any questions as we go through, please do pop them in the chat and we'll be happy to answer them as we go. Okay. Okay, so the next one is a mini homogenizer. So I have a mini whisk, which comes part of a mini homogenizer, but the rest of it is somewhere in a box again. So apologies, but this is what the mini whisk looks like. It's very tiny, and it has this bit clips into a little backpack with a battery in it, and it's very small. It's very precise. This is from the Nor Pro mini whisk, and this comes with 3 attachments. It has a mini homogenizer, a milk frother, and this little mini whisk, and they're very, very cheap. Amazon again, I got mine off. I think it was something like £15. It wasn't expensive, but you don't need to get an electric one. You can just get a mini whisk, like a manual mini whisk. This just makes it a little bit easier, but it's not an essential purchase. A mini homogenizer is slightly different. It works in a slightly different way to a whisk, just to help you create your emulsion. So, Natalie, can you just give us a little bit of a brief description as to why we might need a mini whisk or a mini homogenizer during the masterclass?
Yeah, that's fine. So when you're creating your emulsion, you need to disperse your phases. So if you're dispersing your oil phase into the water, the only way you can do that efficiently is by using a mini whisk, because it creates the small particles that you want of the oil. And also it's the easiest and the quickest way to create the emulsion without having to invest in a lot of big equipment. Also, you can get really fun looking whisks, like mine is like a little yellow one.
Oh, very good.
So yeah, so you can, it adds a bit of fun, a bit of funkiness to your formulations as well. But yeah, it's mainly for your emulsions to create the dispersion.
I do like color. Everyone who knows me knows I like color. I have colored pens and highlighters and all sorts of different things. And my spatulas, I've got little mini spatulas to get the stuff out of the beaker, and they're all different colors. So I don't have colored whisks, but I do have colored spatulas. Okay, we have a question on the pipettes. Mary says, how do you clean them? So if they are plastic, you cannot clean them. You must throw them away. And if they are glass, you just get a bottle brush to clean through them. And we're going to go on to cleaning with one of the pieces of equipment we're going to talk about in a minute. So we'll come back to that bit in a moment. So the next equipment that we need is gloves. And I have my lovely, stunning blue gloves here. They can just be throwaway gloves, or you can get reusable ones. We do recommend reusable ones in general, but for the purposes of the masterclass, if you're just sort of starting out, you can just get disposable gloves. They're fairly cheap, and most people don't have a problem with them, so they're nice and easy to get hold of. And Natalie, why would we wear gloves when formulating?
So you need to protect your skin. You cannot be using although these ingredients are natural, but if they're at high concentrations, for example, the fragrances, they can really irritate your skin. So you want to make sure that you protect your skin from the ingredients, especially when they're neat.
Mm-hmm. Essential oils are a big one, although they are, as Natalie said, they are natural. They are very potent, and they can cause some serious sensitivities if they get into your skin, which is why we only use them in very small quantities. Small but mighty, as I like to call them. So yes, the next one is an apron. I do have an apron with me. It's not a lovely, colourful one, unfortunately. It is just a black one, but it does the job. I figured if I went with any color, I might get upset if it gets damaged. So I thought black might be the best one.
Mine is white and it's shocking.
Yes, I like to use pumpkin seed oil, which is actually what we're using in the masterclass. But I also love calendula infused oil, which is usually orange. And I can just see me coming out like a rainbow if I had anything other than a black apron. So yes. So why would we use an apron when formulating, Natalie?
Again, it's for personal protection, and this is mainly to do with your clothes and also just your body. You don't want to be putting ingredients that are neat onto your clothes. It will damage them, or onto your skin.
Definitely. So the final piece of equipment that we are talking about today is isopropyl alcohol, which is, this is, I bought this in a litre. This is 99.9% isopropyl alcohol, but we only use it at 70%. And Natalie's going to explain that in a moment. So I buy it in, you don't need to buy this bigger product. You can buy it pre-mixed to 70%, or you can buy it in this 99.9% and then dilute it yourself, which is what I do. So Natalie, can you just let everyone know why we use the 70% and why we use isopropyl alcohol in general?
Okay, so we use alcohol because it pretty much disinfects a lot of bacteria and kills a lot of bacteria that are on the surfaces. And in terms of the 70%, we actually use 70% because the 30% water helps penetrate the cell wall of the bacteria, therefore killing them. Also, using 99%, you wouldn't be able to spray. By the time you spray, it would have evaporated and gone somewhere else. So yeah, alcohol is your best bet because it kills most bacteria, and 70% because the 30% water helps penetrate the cell walls.
Definitely. And that links back into Mary's question about cleaning pipettes. So you would get a bottle brush, you would mix your alcohol, and you would soak your pipettes in alcohol and clean them out that way to help sanitize them. And we use alcohol not just for the equipment, but for the surfaces that we're using. So your workspace, all of your bowls, your beakers, your mini homogenizers, your everything would get sprayed with this. And then you just leave it on, you let it evaporate, and then once it's all dry, you can start using your equipment. So I hope that answers your question, Mary. And we have another question from Fabian, who says, do you use homogenizer and lab equipment? So we use a mini homogenizer, not a full one, because we're only using we're only creating small quantities. And large homogenizers can be very expensive, hundreds and hundreds of pounds. So we use a mini one, and that is the one that we recommend is from Norpro. And if Eliziani could maybe pop that link in the thread, if she can find it, that would be really, really helpful. That one was on Amazon. There are multiple brands. You don't have to get the Norpro, but that is the one that many of us use here at Formula Botanica. Do you have a mini homogenizer? Or do you use a mini whisk?
I use a mini whisk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Homogenizers are not essential. They just work slightly differently to a whisk, but they're not essential, and certainly not essential for the masterclass. Yeah. The cream we're going to be teaching you is very easy to make. It's very stable, and it can just be done with a standard whisk or a mini whisk. Just for those of you who have joined us recently, it's just a recap. This is all about equipment. And for the masterclass, it starts on the 2nd of October. So you have still a couple of weeks left to buy your equipment and to buy your ingredients if you haven't yet done so. So don't worry, everything you need is in your study area, but we are talking you through everything today. Fabian then says, doesn't it also separate the oils from the skin? I'm assuming they mean a homogenizer. Natalie.
From the skin? The homogenizer.
It helps them absorb into the skin, doesn't it? Because it helps break down the particles.
Oh, is this, are they saying that when you homogenize and then you put the cream onto the skin? Is that?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So basically, if you homogenize, what you do is you create little tiny droplets of the oils, and this helps the oil actually penetrate your skin because it's been dispersed into tiny little oils.
Yes, so it actually promotes absorption rather than deters it.
Yeah.
And we have another question that says, what about an immersion blender?
Is this the one that you put in?
Yes.
Yes.
Like,
Okay. So I have not used an immersion blender at home. The immersion blenders that I've used are the big equipment in the labs. And if that's the one that they're referring to, you really do not need that for your house. That's going to cost you thousands of pounds. And also, to be honest, once, let's say, your brand is grown and you go to full on production, they will have the immersion blenders for you. So you don't need to invest in that unless you just want to, but it's not necessary at all.
no, not what we recommend. We recommend just sticking with a standard mini whisk or mini homogenizer. Fabian's just popped back. They say that they meant ethanol. Does the ethanol separate the oils from the skin?
Yes. So again, you need to make sure that you wear your gloves and you wear your apron because you really don't want to be getting ethanol onto your skin. It will dry out your skin very, very quickly.
It does. But the way in which we use it to sanitize the equipment, when you spray it, you leave it and it evaporates. So it kills the bacteria in the process, and then nothing transfers into the cosmetics, providing that it has fully evaporated.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about it getting onto the skin.
Yeah. And
Thank you for clarifying that.
It evaporates pretty quickly. We're talking in seconds, so you don't have to wait minutes and minutes.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so I think we've and Elysiani has popped the Norpro mixer in the comments there. There is a link there for you to check that one out. So I think we've answered all of the questions on equipment, which is great. So we're going to move on to suppliers. So we have 9 suppliers listed in the study area. They are based all around the world. We have ones in Canada, the EU, the UK. We have some in America, New Zealand, India, Australia, and South Africa. There are lots and lots of suppliers there. Now, these suppliers have Masterclass kits. Natalie, could you tell us a little bit about the kits and why they are so good for the Masterclass?
So the kits, they give you pretty much all your ingredients that you need. So you'd be able to just open your kit and you can start formulating straight away without having the stress of having to look for everything yourself. Also, it's going to have pretty much the ingredients that we have used and we have tried. So we know that the ingredients that are in there actually work.
Absolutely. And these kits always sell out every single Masterclass. So if you haven't yet got one, please do make it a priority to go and order one. So you will find the suppliers in your Masterclass.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you anymore, Sarah. Can you hear me?
How about now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I just had a notification to say my internet had gone a little bit funny, so I'm back. So yes, so your ingredients are your ingredient kits. Yes, they will always sell out with the suppliers. We do our best to keep them stocked throughout the build up to the masterclass, but we do always have people emailing us to say they've sold out. When will they be in? So if you would like one and you haven't yet got one, pop over to your masterclass study area. And go to your suppliers, and in that list you will see a list of suppliers and you will see links to the kits as well. You can buy them singularly, as Natalie mentioned, but it does make it easier for you if you just go and buy the kits. So yes, has anyone? I can see that some people have mentioned in the comments that they have already bought or purchased their ingredients. So well done to you guys. If you haven't, there is still time, so don't panic. But we do recommend that that's something that you do quite quickly. Dania says that they've bought the ingredients, but they don't know if they will arrive on time. Please don't worry. The first 3 episodes get released on the 2nd of October, and then we'll have another 6 coming out in the few days after that. But the masterclass is available to watch and take part in until the 14th of October. So you still have lots of time to actually watch the lessons. What we would recommend, if your ingredients haven't arrived, don't worry. Watch the episodes as they go live. Complete your masterclass workbook as you go, and then you can formulate once your ingredients arrive. You don't necessarily have to formulate as the lessons go live. I mean, some people choose to. It's fine to do so if that's what you want to do. But if your ingredients haven't arrived, it's absolutely fine to do it once they arrive, even if that's a few days into the masterclass. Tasneem has asked if they can use 99% alcohol to disinfect the equipment. We have already covered this, but just as a recap, Natalie, would we use 99% alcohol to disinfect? And if so, and if not, why not?
No, so we're not going to use 99%. That's because 99% doesn't actually kill the bacteria as much as you'd think logically it would, because it's more potent. We need 70% because the 30% of water helps penetrate the alcohol into the cells of the bacteria.
Thank you, Natalie. So yes, 70% is your goal, but you can buy 99% and then dilute it to 70%. Okay, so we have some questions coming in, which I'm going to throw your way, Natalie, so be prepared. So the first question is, do we need lots of expensive equipment to start as a formulator?
No, no, absolutely not. I mean, I am working now professionally as a formulator, but I started just like the rest of you, literally with whisks, mini whisks, beakers, and jewelry scales and bowls, and I got on my way. So you really don't need anything that's expensive. The most basic things, that pretty much the stuff that you would use for baking, is the stuff that you would really need.
Absolutely. And we do find that often some people have a lot of the things that they need in their cupboards when they first start out. So the big things you'll need to buy, obviously, will be the scales and the thermometer. That's one thing we didn't cover, actually, a thermometer. Yeah. So we'll pop back to that in 1 second. So yes, there will be a couple of things you'll need to purchase, like the thermometer, the scales, the pH strips. But generally, most of the things you will probably find somewhere in your kitchen.
Yeah.
So let's pop quickly onto a thermometer.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you have one.
Yes, I've got, this is my thermometer that I use. It's just literally a basic thermometer that goes up to, what does it go up to, 100 degrees. And I bought it specifically from a scientific shop, so it's been calibrated the right way. It comes in this little plastic thing here, so you just slot it in. Oh, the wrong way. So yeah, so
always the wrong way.
So it comes in like this, and this is really essential when you're heating things up. You want to heat up your ingredients to the right temperature. You don't want to be overheating them, getting to like 80, 90 degrees for the wrong ingredients. So essential for you when you're making hot mixes, especially.
Definitely. And you'll see all sorts of thermometers online. The Amazon store has multiple. We use in the Masterclass, I think we use one that has 2 probes. So one in the water phase, one in the oil phase. You don't need that type of thermometer, but you can invest in them if you'd like. You can also use thermometers that have, so they're almost like meat thermometers, where they have a probe that comes out and a digital display. So any type of thermometer is fine, providing that you know it's been calibrated properly. Yeah. And again, they're not expensive. You can pick them up for a small amount of money. For the sake of the Masterclass, you can use a thermometer that you have at home, providing it's very clean and it's been sanitized with that 70% alcohol. But when you come to formulate more regularly and you're formulating for the people, then we would recommend you have a thermometer that is purely just for your cosmetics. So yes. Next question. Where can I buy the tools needed for the Masterclass? We have covered Amazon, but are there any other places that we would generally send people to buy equipment?
I go on Amazon and then I usually Google things.
Exactly that. So generally with equipment, they are much easier to find. Yeah. A lot of ingredient suppliers also have equipment with them as well. So the suppliers that we find on the Masterclass study area, don't just check them out for ingredients, check them out for equipment as well. But yes, generally is exactly that. Do a Google search. You'll generally find that your basic things like your pH strips, your beakers, your thermometers, they're fairly easy to find once you run a search, and you can just find something that's near to you. But if you are on Amazon and you can get delivered to you, then we do have lots of options on the storefronts for you. Before we move on to the next question, we have a question. Sorry, before we move on to the next question from the we have one here that says the diameter of oil particles is not important in the case using a mini homogenizer. Our goal is just to ensure an emulsion formulation, and that's a question mark at the end. I think this question is, you know, is it essential to get the small particle from homogenizer, or can we just ensure an emulsion is formed?
So we can go down a rabbit hole on this one. Thermodynamics and all of
Let's
them.
keep it simple. Keep
Yeah.
it simple.
So basically, yes, the diameter of the particles do matter if we're talking pure chemistry and we want to understand what our what our emulsion looks like under the microscope, and potentially maybe predict what it's going to do in 5 years from now. But for the masterclass, we just need to create an emulsion. And we have tried this formulation many times, so we know that the diameter of the oil is right and is going to be stable. So for the masterclass, yes, the diameter that is important, but you don't need to know that. You just need to make your emulsion and you'll be okay.
Absolutely. And this is one of the reasons why we're doing the masterclass, the way we're doing it. And we talk you through everything step by step. It is literally, like a mini series, holding your hand all the way through, so that you can see, and you see exactly everything. You see us weigh the ingredients, you see us heating them, you see us mixing them, you see us adding botanicals. There's all sorts of different things, but we show you it all on camera. We're narrating it the whole way through. We're talking you through it. We're then explaining everything in more depth in your workbook as well. And if you signed up for the VIP ticket, which gives you an even more exclusive experience, it's only £37 for the VIP. And what you get is your workbook to fill in, but you also get an additional bonus workbook, which includes all of the comments and feedback and observations from our cosmetic scientist who has filled it in. So all of your notes, to give you an example. So elements like this, where you're filling in the workbook, this is already filled in for you in the VIP workbook. So if you would like to access the VIP, get access to that workbook, get access to lots of little mini courses, and the coaching session, the free coaching session that we're going to be doing for the VIP holders, there is still time to get your VIP ticket. So if you like it and you've missed out, please do email the help desk on hello@formulabotanica.com, and we can share that link with you to get upgraded to VIP. Okay.
Do we want to go over the glass rod? Or
we can go over that was actually my next question was going to be, is there anything we can use except for a mini whisk and homogenizer?
Yeah.
You were one step ahead of me there, Natalie. Go for it. What is a glass rod and how would we use it?
Yeah, so this is your glass rod, and basically you use it to stir. Again, it's glass, it's inert, so you can use it for lots of different things, and you can use it to stir in your beakers. It's also very, very good for pouring oils. So sometimes when your oils come in a bottle, when you try to pour them, or even just liquids, when you try and pour them, they kind of go down the bottle. But if you take your glass rod and then you put your bottle against it and then pour, it would literally just go down the glass rod, and you won't have any wastage.
Absolutely. The glass rods, I have loads of them. I think I have about 50 of them, just so that they're so versatile. You can use them for so many things. And it's just really easy to sort of grab one and use it to stir. And for the masterclass, you'll see us using them in the beginning, but I tend to use them for everything and every phase. If you're mixing multiple phases before you heat them, I love a glass rod. I think they're absolutely they're very basic, but absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So another piece of equipment, I briefly mentioned it earlier, but is spatulas.
Yes.
So I have lots of mini spatulas to get to use. So this is also they sort of work alongside a glass rod. But what would we use a spatula for?
So I've got a spatula here, and my one is a bendy silicone one. And after I've stirred whatever I'm stirring, I love using a spatula because it literally can scrape the sides, and you can get a bit of a vigorous mix, especially if it's a larger spatula. Again, you can just use a spatula to mix if you don't have a glass rod. So they're really kind of interchangeable, but I do love spatula because they're bendy and I can scrape the sides.
Definitely. You'll be surprised how much you get out of a beaker once you put a spatula inside.
Yeah, very true.
We have a question on an ingredient, so I'm going to pass it straight to you. they say, can you use lecithin to emulsify products?
You can, but lecithin is not the strongest emulsifier. So we wouldn't recommend using it as a sole emulsifier, but you can use it in conjunction with other emulsifiers, but it wouldn't work just on its own. Your product might be stable for a day or two, but you probably start seeing some separation after a few days.
Definitely. And also it's a different type of emulsifier to what we're using in the masterclass, so it would not work for the cream we're going to teach you from the 2nd of October. So for now, just stick with what ingredients are listed in the study area in your workbook, and you will do just fine.
Yeah.
Okay, hot plates is the next equipment. So hot plates. What type of hot plate can we use, and why do we use them?
So hot plates, they're there to pretty much heat up your stuff. You can use some of the most basic hot plates that you can get from Amazon. I think you can get scientific hot plates or lab home-based hot plates for like £40 here in the UK. I don't know what that translates to other people, but you can get them relatively cheap. And these are used pretty much to warm up any butters, waters, anything that you want to warm up. Some of them, if you're lucky, they come with like a magnetic stirrer. So that means that you can heat up your stuff while you're stirring as well. But if you don't have a hot plate, don't worry. You can use your water bath. That's just a pot, a bowl, some water, and then you put your beaker in and you heat things up. So yeah. So it's not essential for you to have a hot plate.
Definitely not. I don't have a hot plate, actually. I still use a water bath. I find it much easier.
Yeah.
It's something I will invest in once I get set up in the new house, I think. But for now, I think it's definitely, a double boiler water bath is absolutely fine.
Yeah. I also think if you're a beginner, water bath might be better because you've better control of the temperature. Hot plate can get very, very hot very, very quickly, and the temperature will just shoot up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, Natalie. Okay, the next question I have for you, you lucky lady. Can I use anything I can find in my kitchen?
Okay. So no, not anything. We're not using your cups and saucers and your wine glasses. We're not doing that. But you can use things like we said. I have like steel bowl here. This is a bowl that I've had in my kitchen, and I took it and I use it exclusively as like my water bath. So you can use stuff in your kitchen, like we said. I mean, spatulas, these are things that we have in our kitchen, same as the whisks, stuff that we have in our kitchen. So it's not anything, very specific things. And once you've decided this is going to be for your formulations, it's only going to be for your formulations. It cannot then go back to your soups and your meats.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. And this links into one of my favorite questions that we always get in the masterclass. And it's something I wanted to sort of almost end with because it is such an important one. Should I buy equipment to make big batches from the beginning?
No, absolutely not. And this is not even just because people are doing this from their houses. Even in industry, that's not how you start. You start off with small batches, 250, 500, 100 grams, mainly because you want to check if your formulation works, right? Before you start investing in all these ingredients. And also you have better control of your formulation. If you're making in small batches, you'll be able to tell that, okay, this is separating. If you have a big batch, it's very difficult for you to control. It's difficult to heat up. It's difficult to see when it's separating. There's just a lot more to work with. So no, that's not industry standard, and that's not home standard either.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I think we've pretty much answered all of the questions now. We've got one just to recap, which is it okay to use distilled warm water and isopropyl alcohol to sanitize empty containers to place creams into?
No, we don't want to be warming up any type of alcohol. That brings in danger element there. We want to keep our alcohol and our water cold. And I understand that it's warm water, but then at the same time, alcohol does evaporate. So you're kind of encouraging that evaporation. And by the time you spray it, because the water is warm, the alcohol would have evaporated anyway. So from a safety point of view, and also just from the evaporation point of view, we don't want to do that.
No. So we want cold distilled water and isopropyl alcohol to what percentage of alcohol? 70%. Thank you very much. Okay, I think we've covered all of the questions. So we're just going to do a quick recap on what the masterclass is, and then we're going to leave you to the rest of your days. So first of all, the masterclass starts on what day, Natalie? The 2nd of October. I knew I'd put you on the
Put me on the spot here, Sarah. I knew it. 2nd of October.
2nd of October, that's correct. First 3 episodes land on the 2nd of October. We also have a lovely introductory video in the study area for you already. So if you haven't seen that, please go and watch it. That is also where you will find your workbook in your study area. Big red button that says Masterclass Workbook. Go there, find it, print it, even bind it if you wish. You don't have to, but I think it looks nice bound. You can just pop a clip in the top just to keep it together. And this, as I mentioned earlier, this will be your Bible throughout the masterclass. So please do print it out and keep it close to hand. So the first 3 lessons are on the 3rd of October. We then have another 3 2 days later, and another 3 2 days after that. And then we have a big lesson 10, which is live right here. We have a big, so it's in the evening UK time. You can register for it via the study area. We always do episode 10 live. It's a great evening. It makes for a wonderful lesson. So please do sign up for that one. It's, you know, we are on a mission here at Formula Botanica to teach the world to formulate. And this is why all of you guys are here. You guys are action takers. You're here because you want to learn to formulate. We're going to teach you a beautiful botanical cream with pumpkin and pomegranate and all sorts of wonderful ingredients. So, you know, this is why you're on the live as well, to make sure you're prepared and you're ready. You still have time to get sort of all sorted. So don't panic if you're not quite there. But get your ingredients together, get your workbook printed, and we will, you know, show you the rest step by step.
Yes.
So the masterclass kits, as we mentioned, they do sell out. If you haven't yet get them, please do get them. And your suppliers will also be able to help you with equipment as well. But if you have any questions at all, please do email us, hello@formulabotanica.com. That will come through at the help desk. Myself and my colleagues are there to answer any questions you have. And I hope that we have answered all of your questions in terms of equipment here on the live today as well. So I think we are done. I don't think there is anything else that we need to cover. Just checking all of the questions have gone through. Yes, I think they have. Oh, and the final point, I do just want to ensure the Facebook dedicated group for the masterclass. The link to it is in your study area. It is an amazing group. We have thousands and thousands of people part of it, taking part in the journey with you. Last time, I think we taught over, I think it was 40,000 or 60,000 people were in this masterclass, and we are aiming to try and beat that this time around. So if you haven't yet joined the group, please do join the group. The link to it is in the study area, big button on the right hand side, right next to your workbook. You can join, it's free. And yeah, that's where we'll be updating all of your masterclass information. You can take a picture with your workbook and give us a little workbook selfie. And once you started formulating, you can share your cream with us and show the world that you can formulate. You have learned to formulate alongside us. Anything you'd like to add there, Natalie?
Yes, just have fun. Don't think too hard about it. Follow what we're teaching you. Buy the kit and buy the equipment that you need. There's no need to go all out, and then just follow us along and make it fun. Honestly, just enjoy it as much as you can.
Absolutely. It is so fun once you learn how to do this, and you will just realize that you have a skill that is so versatile. You'll just be able to do so much with it. So stay tuned, keep joining us for these lives in the run up to the 2nd of October.
Yep.
And join us live for that masterclass. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you for all of your questions. Thank you for all of your comments. Thank you to Lizzie Annie for being in the comments and sharing all the links as well. And we shall see you on our next live, which is Monday, 30th of September at 8 p.m. UK time. That one is the next step in the masterclass. So please do join us if you can. And I don't think I'm on that one, so you won't be seeing me, but you will be seeing more of the Formula Botanica team on that one. So thank you very much, and we shall see you all next week. Bye, guys.